This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
I'ma get you in the mood, get you in the vibe, get you in the groove. I feel so alive, don't mean to be rude, but if you don't, you should really get in tune. No bad attitude, smile baby, that's your best attribute. Cheese, let me show some gratitude. I feel too good to ever be mad at you. This is how we get up, get up. This is how it goes down, go down. Had no time to feel bad, so put it round upside down. Good, real good, feel good. Make 'em feel good. Make 'em feel good, baby. Gotta make 'em feel good, baby. Don't it feel good? Feeling real good. I am feeling. Tell me, don't it feel good? Gotta make 'em feel good, and I keep on doing what I should. Make 'em feel good. I feel good, you look better.
Following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, there you go. And you already know it. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, today is Friday, September the 5th of 2025, day 248th of the year, and only 117 days left to go. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. And then we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
Yes, infiltration and Radio Big is kind of the way that things go around here. Just kind of the layout of the land of the layout. That's just kind of how it goes. In case you did not know that, but now you do know that because I just had the discussion. So how's your day been so far? How's the last 24 hours or so been so far? Because that's important. Now I'm going to tell you, I've been up at some ridiculous hour of the day already today. And I know it's still early. We're only 3 minutes in, but we're already talking about this. I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning. This is not a joke. Just so I could watch the finale of Dexter without anybody ruining it. I'm not joking as I say that. Because, there are professional ruiners of shows out there, so I wanted to make sure that I caught it before anybody told me anything that was going on. So that's how we started off the morning here. So anyways, let's start talking right away about some of the stuff that's going on. So our show consists of safety in the news and safety. That's just kind of the layout of the land. We talk a little bit of this, we talk a little bit about that, and the whole layout. So here's the gig'em. On Fridays, it's Freeform Friday. See, we talk a little bit about everything. So there you go. There you go. So just some stuff. So everything that I wasn't able to catch up for during the week, we play catch up today. So all the news stories, all the stuff that's being generated, all the stuff that's moving on, and everything along those lines. If you want to interact with the show during that time, you're more than welcome in doing so. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. Once you get there, video, audio, text messaging are the options. Video, audio, text messaging. Once you do that, you make the pick. It gives me a little prompter, and then I know which way we need to start leaning when it comes to some stuff. So there you go. Some stuff to to discusso. And yes, just in case, because I still get questions coming in, it is sold out. Conklin Conference 4 that starts next week is sold out. There is no tickets. There is no hidden tickets. There is no last moment. I have a section that I did not release. Nope. Nada. None of that. It is there. It is there. Conklin Conference 4 is occurring. Tickets are sold out. And then I've already been asked if there's an event coming in 2026. As we speak right now, I got nothing on the books. But that could change in a moment's notice. That's kind of the way that it goes. So I'll keep you posted. But, I think that I started telling people back in February about this conference. So I'm not sure on how all of a sudden this became a last-minute ordeal. But that's just kind of how it goes. Anyways, with that being said, why don't we start talking a little bit about what the hell was trending in the overnight, because that seems to be important.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so as I take a look at the trends of the ends, it goes something like this. Notable and noteworthy, the latest NASA plans to return to the moon. We'll talk about that. Also, an update on Diddy's bid for freedom, and Jay Cutler gets sued. We'll talk about more about that in show business. Also, details on the Superman sequel that's coming up. And let's see, Prince Andrew. A robust insult vocabulary reigns legendary at Buckingham Palace. We'll talk about that as we get into the riots. So there you go. We'll talk about all that stuff going on. So if you're ready to go, I'm ready to go. I have my friends from Feature Story News waiting on that side over there, wanting to talk about what the hell's going on. So why don't we go ahead and get you into the news right now.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Russian state media is reporting the Kremlin would reject foreign troops being stationed in Ukraine in the event of a peace deal. This after French President Emmanuel Macron said 26 Western allies have agreed to contribute troops and support in a Ukraine peacekeeping force. The UK Deputy Prime Minister's political future could be decided on Friday. The findings of an investigation into Angela Rayner underpaying property taxes may be revealed later. If they're highly critical, it's expected the Deputy Prime Minister may either quit or be sacked. Trade Minister Douglas Alexander says Prime Minister Keir Starmer's waiting for his ethics advisor's report.
These decisions need to be based on a comprehensive view of the facts and the circumstances of the case. And in that sense, if you think about any workplace in the UK, it's right and reasonable that there is a process. If there is concerns raised, a complaint made, whatever it is, I think it's right for ministers as well. It should be rigorous, it should be completely independent, but that's exactly where we are with this independent advisor, Laurie Magnus, who'll look at all the facts, put a report on the desk of the Prime Minister, and then rightly it'll be the Prime Minister to make his judgment.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un told Chinese President Xi Jinping Pyongyang will continue to support Beijing in protecting Chinese sovereignty, territory and development interests. That's according to North Korean state media KCNA. It's their first formal summit in 6 years after they put on an unprecedented show of unity against the West alongside Russia's Vladimir Putin at a military parade to mark the end of World War II. Laura Westbrook reports.
The two leaders held talks on Thursday evening at Beijing's Great Hall of the People, where they had tea and dinner afterwards. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un said he would steadily develop bilateral relations and that the relationship between China and North Korea cannot change no matter how the international situation may change. Chinese President Xi Jinping said the two countries should strengthen coordination on international affairs. Beijing is a vital source of both diplomatic and economic support for the isolated nuclear state. State media confirmed that Kim Jong-un left Beijing by his private train on Thursday to go back to North Korea.
India and the EU say they're committed to finalising a trade deal by the end of the year. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen held a phone call during which the two leaders also agreed to set up a bilateral summit early next year. Ishan Garg reports from New Delhi.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a joint call with European Council President Antonio Costa and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, reaffirming a shared commitment to quickly conclude the India-EU Free Trade Agreement. This comes as India's economy is feared to lose out on billions of dollars worth of exports to the US after Washington imposed 50% tariffs on New Delhi.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today remembering Giorgio Armani, the Italian fashion designer and for decades arbiter of global style. He died on Thursday at the age of 91. Melanie Rickey, style director for Good Housekeeping magazine, on what the world has lost.
I interviewed Giorgio Armani several times over the years, often in his Milan office, which was an enormous cavernous space filled with books. He was always incredibly charming, incredibly thoughtful, and he has such an incredible legacy. I mean, it was almost impossible to know where to start with an interview with him because he was the first designer to see the possibilities of dressing Hollywood stars. He was one of the first designers to outfit movies, and Hollywood really were the first people, the first kind of group that fell in love with his work and his style. And also, of course, he was quite anti-fashion as a fashion designer. He was about purity of design. The area of interest for him was the 1930s, the decade in which he was born, and he loved the elegance of that era. And he's a designer who built an entire universe around his style. So it's a huge loss to the world, really. He brought so much.
Armani was working up until the very end, according to his company, in which he was still the only shareholder. His final interview was published by the Financial Times only last weekend. I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, Russian state media is reporting the Kremlin would reject foreign troops being stationed in Ukraine in the event of a peace deal. The UK Deputy Prime Minister's political future could be decided on Friday. North Korea's leader told Chinese President Xi Jinping Pyongyang will continue to support Beijing in protecting Chinese sovereignty and territory, and India and the EU say they're committed to finalising a trade deal by the end of the year. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show. Self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Well, you might be like me and heard all these terms and were not 100% sure on what they meant. Things as mining, blockchain, the Internet of Things. Well, I will tell you, we here at Safety FM have partnered up with a company that will explain this to you and will also have conversations to inform you on how you might have the potential of making passive income by being involved with this. All you need to do is go to safetyfm.com/iHub. They'll discuss blockchain. What exactly is mining? What is cryptocurrency? And what is the Internet of Things? To find out more information, go to safetyfm.com/iHub. That's safetyfm.com/iHub. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all three books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, there you go. We are currently 17 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out doing our thing inside of the world of the multiverse. So there you go. Anyway, so let's start talking right away about some of the things that are going on inside of the world of the news cycle. Billy McFarland isn't done cashing in on Fire Festival brand. Whoever bought the rights to the whole cursed enchilada on eBay on July apparently didn't want all of the footage that was shot for a second documentary about what was supposed to be the second version of the event. So now Billy is selling that off too. The listing promises about 10 terabytes behind the scenes video footage of the planning process, to resurrect the brand. The winner will also have access to Billy McFarland himself for 3 separate 90-minute interviews somewhere in New York City. If you want to film him elsewhere, you'll have to provide first-class travel and 5-star accommodations. This is just more than just a film project. It's the chance to own a piece of internet pop culture history. The global brand recognition built in, McFarland writes in the listing. In a Thursday morning post on X, McFarland witnessed, "It is the footage of my fire life that's really only worth $15,000 with a sobbing emoji." Worth noting, maybe he can do a show called, or maybe he can do a show with Megan Sussex where they battle it off to see who's deluded public interest in their lives and ideas. I mean, I'm just saying. So, what do you think there? It's kind of interesting, huh? I mean, I don't know. If it's a failed brand, why would I give 2 shits about buying footage? 10 terabytes. 10 terabytes of information of something that nobody's really going to give a shit about. What I can tell you exactly what I think that occurred. And I could be wrong. But because of the release of the documentary and it became popular, that was like, we need to resurrect what we have. And that was kind of the whole motion behind the whole thing. I mean, I just don't get it. But whatever. I mean, I guess I am not the target audience, and I'm okay with that. Anyways, while leftists, New York City mayor candidate Zeron Mandani promises city-owned grocery stores to bring down costs, a new club promises exclusive high-end grocery shopping for a price. Ronnie Flegg, that's who it is, who has started a label called Kith, is launching a members-only club in the city West Village, alongside with gym, cold plunge tanks, and other elite amenities. Members will have access to the store, the ritzy grocery chain based out of Los Angeles. But it's also will get you into the door. Members must pay $36,000 initiation fee and a $7,000 yearly fee. So there you go. The initial design plans for Irma might be a little more than the high-end smoothie bar. You'll have to shell out $40K to find out. So there you go. I don't know. It gets interesting. So let's talk about this. The Department of Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, from Real World fame, MTV, who is doubling down as NASA administrator, says 4 astronauts will travel out to and around the moon early next year. The mission will set up the return to the lunar surface during the Artemis 3, potentially as early as 2027. The mission would also be the start of establishing the American base camp on the moon over the course of 8 to 12 days. Duffy says that we want to win the second space race to the moon, but we know that China wants to get there before us, adding, we're not going to let that happen. Meanwhile, the moon mission set up first human travel to Mars is set for early 2030s, Duffy says. This is according to Rapid Response 47. So there you go. What do you think? I mean, it's going to be interesting. Let's not lie about this. We're going to have some convos, some interesting times to discuss. Just gets stranger. Anyways, a 4-year-old boy from Vernon Hills, Illinois, has been admitted to MENSA for the Genius Society. Zarian Roy scored 156 out of 160 on his IQ test for children. He already reads at a 3rd grade level. His parents say that at 18 months, he was spelling complex words like hippopotamus and counting to 100 and back. He also speaks English and Bengali, his parents' native tongue. Little Zorlin says that his dream of being a NASA scientist, this is according to NBC News. So there you go. Sounds interesting. Sounds interesting for sure. What else do we got? Hoping to avoid being arrested, a Utah man named Jeremy Jensen decided to climb into an attic of his Midvale apartment building when he heard officers approach his door. He didn't realize, however, that it was the lack of support of him hiding place would offer him. Moments after climbing up, Jensen fell through the ceiling into the neighboring apartment. He startled the neighbor, alerted the officers to his location, and in what she called really chaotic situation, Jensen was arrested and is currently residing in Salt Lake County Jail, facing multiple charges, including trespassing, drug-related offenses. This is according to KSL. I mean, hold on. So you knew you were getting arrested? What were you getting arrested for? Maybe that's more of the convo than anything else. What do you think? I mean, I don't know. Why do people do strange stuff? I don't know. Don't we all do strange things when it's all said and done? I mean, I'm sure they're not the greatest strange things, but they are strange things. So let's see if we can get some sound in here.
For new specials.
Hold on. Let's flip this over. Hold on.
And it started the minute that he got home.
Yeah, it happened in Midvale at the Springs apartment. That's where news specialist Debbie Worthen joins us live right now. And Debbie, what exactly happened?
So let's take a listen to this.
Well, we're told that police were trying to track down another fugitive when they knocked on the door where Jeremy Jensen was staying.
Oops.
According to them, when he realized they were there, he climbed into the attic to get away, but that plan literally fell through.
They wanted to evacuate everybody.
Peyton Grace says when police knocked on his door, he knew something
Come and knock on our door.
It was just like chaotic. Lots of noise.
He had already heard a man was climbing through the attic.
Oh, this is crazy.
Walkway may be connected to his apartment. Turns out it did lead right to his next door neighbor's unit, and police say Jeremy Jensen crashed through her ceiling.
The one person who lives here, she walks out, and she actually went into that room because he had fallen down in her apartment.
Grace says everything happened fast.
So why isn't she doing the interview?
One guy has a riot shield.
He went back inside.
Then I hear her yell. He's like, "Get your hands on the ground! Get your hands on the ground, or we're gonna tase you."
Grace believes
I think he just wanted to say that for the news.
things quieted down and the scene cleared. He's surprised this happened here.
This is a nice area.
Yeah. Sounds like it. Very interesting
Jensen
stuff.
is now in the Salt Lake County Jail facing numerous charges, including drug charges and trespassing charges. I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, pretty intense night. All right, Debbie Worthen live tonight. Debbie, thank you. Suspecting.
Yeah, thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Debbie. I mean, that made it interesting for sure as we are talking. Holy shit. So, yeah, let's not fall through ceilings this morning. Maybe that should be the plan.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, take a listen to this. Italian fashion designer Giorgio Armani has died. In a statement from his namesake brand says that he died on Thursday at home, peacefully and surrounded by his loved ones. He was 91 at the time of his passing. So there you go. What else do we got? Let's talk about the swamp. The Department of Justice has opened a criminal probe into a Federal Reserve Governor, Lisa Cook, who lied about the mortgage application paperwork, claiming the two homes as her primary residence to get better interest rates while actively subletting one of them. The criminal referral comes from the Federal Housing Finance Agencies, whose director has publicly said there is evidence to prove she committed fraud. President Trump has dismissed Cook, but she is suing to keep her job. She's being represented by Abe Lowell, the same guy who, for a time, repped Hunter Biden. So there you go. Some stuff to take a look at here. I'm still confused by that one. So let's say, for instance, I bought a house. And at the time that I bought that house, I listed it as my primary residence. Okay. And then I decided to buy a second house. And that one was going to become my primary resident, where my first resident will now become, let's say, for instance, a rental home. Am I doing something wrong? I mean, I need to understand laws better, maybe. I don't get it. I think it's kind of strange. Not justifying what this person did. I'm just trying to understand, what would you need to do to make sure you did not run into that scenario? Because I don't think it's uncommon for somebody to sell a home. And I don't think it's uncommon for somebody to sell a home and keep a home. And sometimes, you change primary residence. Just saying. Anyways, let's talk about some other... Okay. Oh, hold on. I got it. Let me fix it.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
There you go. We happy now? Okay, cool. Let's continue. Anyways, the activist judge who was appointed by Barack Obama in order to the closure of Florida alligator Alcatraz illegal immigrants detention facility has been smacked down by a federal appeals court. The 11th Circuit stopped her order to suspend all operations and construction at the facility and blocked her from making any further rulings until the case works through the appeal process. So there you go. So a lot of stuff going on as we are talking. What else? Oh, I guess I should mention this. Football season started last night for those who care. I think, who was it? Dallas and Philadelphia played, and I think, if I remember correctly, a defensive player got ejected right at the first play of the game for spitting in the quarterback's face, where he later on decided to say that he was providing moisturizer from his mouth that God gave him or some shit like that. I mean, I don't know. Whatever you need to get for your
little click bait online.
So there you go. And oral moisturizer. Okay, moisturizer from my mouth. We'll leave that one alone. Anyways, let's talk about the numbers. The Dow increased by 350 points to close at 45,621 on Thursday. The S&P increased by 53 points to close at 6,502. And the Nasdaq increased by 209 points to close at 21,707. West Texas Intermediate closed at $63 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $66 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.20 on Thursday. Bitcoin fell on Thursday, trading around $110.5 thousand. Tonight's Mega Million drawing will be for $336 million jackpot or $151.3 million cash payout. Saturday night's Powerball drawing will be, are you ready for this? don't faint, $1.7 billion jackpot or a $770.3 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, you have the opportunity to do so. Okay, so we're gonna go three here before we get to the middle section here. Wedding watch. While some say that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are no rush to wed, others say that the nuptials will likely take place next summer in Rhode Island. She's in a hurry to have children, a source tells Page 6. Perhaps the festivities will take place in Swift's mansion in Wesley Watch Hill, which is currently undergoing a $1.7 million renovation, according to Page 6. And for the music, Foreigner penned to open the letter to the couple, offering to perform at their wedding. Meanwhile, Swift is expected to be in the stands at Kelce's Kansas City Chiefs take on the Los Angeles Chargers in Sao Paulo, Brazil tonight. So there you go. Also in some other news, an update, a new legal filing for Sean Combs' attorney takes a shot at federal prosecutors, claiming that the wrong definition of prostitution was used to prosecute him under the Mann Act, and that's M-A-N-N. The filing accuses the prosecutors of using the modern definition of sex for hire when it comes to prostitution, but argues that they should have been using the original 1910 definition, which states prostitute is a woman who has sex outside of marriage. With the argument, Combs' attorneys are trying to persuade Judge Irma to either toss the conviction or give Combs a new trial. As of now, the sentencing will still take place on October the 3rd. One more news story before we get to the main follow-up. Just days after agreeing to plead guilty in his October 2026 DUI case, Jay Cutler is now being sued by other drivers that he hit that night. Perry Lee alleges that the lawsuit that Cutler was driving at an unsafe speed and a distance before the collision. He is seeking compensatory damages for injuries sustained that night, which have significantly impacted his quality of life. The previously reported the former NFL quarterback accepted a plea deal, which includes serving days jail time and paying a $350 fine, undergoing 1-year probation and mandatory drug testing. Cutler also said that his license had been revoked, so just for information purposes right there. Anyways, with that being said, it is 32 minutes past the top of the hour. We would normally give you a main story, but, you know, it is Freeform Friday. So what does that mean? It means more news.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Russian state media is reporting the Kremlin would reject foreign troops being stationed in Ukraine in the event of a peace deal. This after French President Emmanuel Macron said 26 Western allies have agreed to contribute troops and support in a Ukraine peacekeeping force. The UK Deputy Prime Minister's political future could be decided on Friday. The findings of an investigation into Angela Rayner underpaying property taxes may be revealed later. If they're highly critical, it's expected the Deputy Prime Minister may either quit or be sacked. Trade Minister Douglas Alexander says Prime Minister Keir Starmer's waiting for his ethics advisor's report.
These decisions need to be based on a comprehensive view of the facts and the circumstances of the case. And in that sense, if you think about any workplace in the UK, it's right and reasonable that there is a process. If there is concerns raised, a complaint made, whatever it is, I think it's right for ministers as well. It should be rigorous, it should be completely independent, but that's exactly where we are with this independent advisor, Laurie Magnus, who'll look at all the facts, put a report on the desk of the Prime Minister, and then rightly it'll be the Prime Minister to make his judgment.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un told Chinese President Xi Jinping Pyongyang will continue to support Beijing in protecting Chinese sovereignty, territory and development interests. That's according to North Korean state media KCNA. It's their first formal summit in 6 years after they put on an unprecedented show of unity against the West alongside Russia's Vladimir Putin at a military parade to mark the end of World War II. Laura Westbrook reports.
The two leaders held talks on Thursday evening at Beijing's Great Hall of the People, where they had tea and dinner afterwards. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un said he would steadily develop bilateral relations and that the relationship between China and North Korea cannot change no matter how the international situation may change. Chinese President Xi Jinping said the two countries should strengthen coordination on international affairs. Beijing is a vital source of both diplomatic and economic support for the isolated nuclear state. State media confirmed that Kim Jong-un left Beijing by his private train on Thursday to go back to North Korea.
India and the EU say they're committed to finalising a trade deal by the end of the year. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen held a phone call during which the two leaders also agreed to set up a bilateral summit early next year. Ishan Garg reports from New Delhi.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a joint call with European Council President Antonio Costa and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, reaffirming a shared commitment to quickly conclude the India-EU free trade agreement. This comes as India's economy is feared to lose out on billions of dollars worth of exports to the US after Washington imposed 50% tariffs on New Delhi.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today remembering Giorgio Armani, the Italian fashion designer and for decades arbiter of global style. He died on Thursday at the age of 91. Melanie Rickey, style director for Good Housekeeping magazine, on what the world has lost.
I interviewed Giorgio Armani several times over the years, often in his Milan office, which was an enormous cavernous space filled with books. He was always incredibly charming, incredibly thoughtful, and he has such an incredible legacy. I mean, it was almost impossible to know where to start with an interview with him because he was the first designer to see the possibilities of dressing Hollywood stars. He was one of the first designers to outfit movies, and Hollywood really were the first people, the first kind of group that fell in love with his work and his style. And also, of course, he was quite anti-fashion as a fashion designer. He was about purity of design. The area of interest for him was the 1930s, the decade in which he was born, and he loved the elegance of that era. And he's a designer who built an entire universe around his style. So it's a huge loss to the world, really. He brought so much.
Armani was working up until the very end, according to his company, in which he was still the only shareholder. His final interview was published by the Financial Times only last weekend. I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, Russian state media is reporting the Kremlin would reject foreign troops being stationed in Ukraine in the event of a peace deal. The UK Deputy Prime Minister's political future could be decided on Friday. North Korea's leader told Chinese President Xi Jinping Pyongyang will continue to support Beijing in protecting Chinese sovereignty and territory, and India and the EU say they're committed to finalising a trade deal by the end of the year. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
If you're anything like me, you have certain tendencies to put things off, such as filing taxes, seeing the doctor, working on that home improvement project that you're supposed to be doing, but you just haven't gotten to it. And while most of the times it works out, the one thing in life that you really cannot afford to wait on is setting up term coverage life insurance. You've probably seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought, yeah, I'll look into it later. Well, the answer is no. This isn't something that you can wait for. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digitals, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they've made Forbes' Best Life Insurance in 2021's list. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. No hidden fees, cancel anytime, get full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Finally, since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladder.com/safetyfm today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/safetyfm. Ladderlife.com/safetyfm.
In safety, in my opinion, you woke up. You saw the system, the simulation. The structure that trained you to mistake compliance for care. Safety mutation. Information misdirection picks up where the signal fractured. Because the system didn't shut you down, it rebranded you. It packaged your voice, sold your rebellion as a new initiative, and smiled while doing it. This isn't a manual. It's a decoded transmission about what happens when slogans replace stories, when safety becomes marketing, and when truth gets mirrored so perfectly, you forget it was ever yours. You'll see the mutation. Learning teams turned into theater, zero harm turned into optics, and feedback turned into formatting. But the signal didn't die. It was redirected. Safety Mutation is Book 2 of the Signal Transmission Trilogy. Available now in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by the author Jay Allen, Ph.D. Because the system adapted. Now it's your move.
Hey there, Jay Allen here with Safety FM, where we just don't talk about safety, we live it. And when it comes to safeguarding your future, there's no better partner than Acorns. This part of the show has been brought to you by Acorns, and a powerful tool that makes saving and investing easier than ever. We all know that investing can feel overwhelming, especially with busy lives and no time to dive into the nitty-gritty of financial markets, but Acorns changes the game. With Acorns, you don't need to be a financial expert or have a hefty sum of money to get started. In fact, Acorns lets you begin with just spare change. All about those small steps, small investments today that can build into something much bigger over time. Acorns recommends that the expert build portfolio designed to fit financial goals. Then it does the heavy lifting for you by automatically investing your money. It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket working around the clock to help your money grow. So why wait? Head over to acorns.com/safetyfm or download the Acorns app and take that first step towards securing your future today. Remember, in the world of safety and investing, small actions today can lead to mighty outcomes tomorrow. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides an incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisors. View important disclosures at acorn.com/safetyfm. At Safety FM, we're all about making smart decisions on the job and in life. So take control of your financial future. This is Jay Allen reminding you to stay safe, stay smart, and invest in your tomorrow.
He's a man. It's awesome, funny, random, doesn't make any sense, but it's good.
Jay Allen in the morning on Radio Big.
I know you all want to hit your revenue targets and get the launch done. Well, making sure that your team knows what to do and how to do it is a huge part of it. So I'm sure that you all do different kinds of training, and I'm willing to bet that you probably use PowerPoint, Zoom, etc. I also bet that when you get someone droning on about a topic using these tools, you probably zone out. And your team does too. I mean, it is a reality of what happens. That's why I strongly recommend a tool called Articulate 360. That makes it so easy to whip together interactive, really beautiful e-learnings that really engages people and gets info across. You can create short-form micro-learning, super interactive courses, and really whatever you need when you're in their site. Then with a couple of clicks, you can send it out and check on it and see the progress of your team. Your team can also check back on the training anytime they want in a super simple portal. Literally everyone uses Articulate. Over 120,000 companies and all 100 Fortune 100 companies. Check it out at articulate.com/360 to start a free trial. That's articulate.com/360 to start your free trial. And don't forget to tell them that I was the one that sent you there.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
I'ma get you in the mood, get you in the vibe, get you in the groove. I feel so alive, don't mean to be rude, but if you don't, you should really get in tune. No bad attitude, smile baby, that's your best attribute. Cheese, let me show some gratitude. I feel too good to ever be mad at you. This is how we get.
Okay, here we are. 44 minutes past the top of the hour as we are hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show. Yep, here we go. Keep it filthy. Make them feel good. There you go. Songs readily available on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Pandora. Give it a little streamer-eamer action.
So grade A, straight to the letter.
That way we could gander under on what the hell's going on, that's for sure. Good times for sure. Anyways, I'd like to thank Keep It Filthy for allowing us to play that here on the Rated R Safety Show. Anyways, let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that is about my friends at To Write Love on Our Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. And the people at To Write Love on Our Arms want you to know that people have been where you are now and that things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, there'll be information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms. So there you go. Always some interesting things going on right there. Anyways, let's talk about movies because some new movies came out today as this stupid ad just has tried to overpower my computer. So this is fun. So let's talk about some new movie oobies that are going on right now. So The Conjuring: The Last Rites. Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren take on the terrifying case involving mysterious entities they must confront. So there you go. That starts today. Rated R horror mystery. Hamilton, PG-13 musical, the real life of one of America's foremost founding fathers and the first Secretary of Treasury. Alexander Hamilton captured the live on Broadway with Richard Rogers Theater with the original Broadway cast. So there you go. 98% there. Also Twinsies. Twinless. This one's rated R drama comedy. Two young men meet in a twin support group and form an unlikely friendship. But when Roman meets Dennis' co-worker, all is revealed to be not what it seems. So there you go. Some stuff at the movie theater. The movie theater. So there you go. So let's talk about this one. This one's going to be kind of awkward because that's what it is. Zip happens or used to. Acne affects hundreds of millions worldwide, often lingering well beyond their teen years and taking a heavy emotional toll. Now, Korean scientists may have found a breakthrough solution and a new microarray of acne patches that delivers treatment directly under the skin. In a clinical trial, 20% of the self-locking microneedles designed to clear blemishes far faster than creams and gels, with a visible improvement by day 3 and full clearance by day 7. The two-step system first targets bacteria in oil production and then shifts to calming inflammation. The patient responds with high satisfaction, no side effects, and reduced skin oil, suggesting that it would be fast, effective, and accessible. New options for acne care. Researchers also have said that the same technology could be adapted for, wound healing and eczema. Acne gone in a week? Great. Now, if I could just invent a patch for student loans. And then microneedles, finally a skincare product that doubles down as a tattoo practice. So there you go. And a clinical trial of 20 participants. So there you go. I don't know. I remember there was some crap that I used when I was a kid for acne. And it was the weirdest stuff because it dried out your skin so bad that you would just barely touch where the acne was. Because I guess we're not supposed to say pimples. So where pimples were, and you would just rub it and the shit would just legitimately fall off your face, flake off. It was the weirdest thing. I'm sure it did wonders for my face when it was all said and done. So anyways, why don't we keep it a little bit more positive and talk about something entirely else and bring some John Smalls into our life, because he's a positive man. I like that about him. He talks. He gives you some motivation, and then we kind of go from there. He's so he sounds so happy. I've had a couple interactions with him in person. Did I say in person? Over the phone. Over the phone. I can't even believe that I said in person. Anyways, 50 minutes past the top of the hour. Here we go. John Smalls right now.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Joe. Walt Disney said, "All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them." What a great quote. Walt Disney was a visionary. He's known now as a famous success story. But do you know the story? There's actually a movie about it, and I love it. Strangely, it's not from Disney. It's an independent film with a smaller budget, but it's a great story and a fantastic movie. It's called Walt Before Mickey. It tells the tale of Walt Disney before he was rich and famous and successful. He failed a few times. This Walt is different. This Walt is the most interesting visionary. He was not yet a proven commodity. This Walt was hungry.
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. As a young pastor, I inadvertently offended several parishioners. After seeking the Lord's guidance, I felt directed to accept my responsibility for my mistakes, apologize, and wash their feet as a demonstration of my sincere desire to serve them. As I knelt before each man and began washing their feet, the Lord was doing what only He can do. He was removing all the hurt and bitterness from their hearts, and they graciously forgave me. If you've offended anyone, I encourage you to humble yourself and apologize. Lord Jesus, help us to humble ourselves and take responsibility for our hurtful actions. Heal our relationships. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
Here is the news on the Radio R Safety Show.
Floods in eastern Punjab province have displaced over 1.3 million people in recent weeks. Nearly 300,000 individuals were evacuated in the past 48 hours alone.
Relief efforts are underway to provide shelter and aid to those affected. The flooding has caused widespread damage to infrastructure and homes. Authorities are urging residents to follow safety protocols as conditions worsen. Chris Anderson reporting.
A landslide in western Sudan's Mara Mountains has left up to 1,000 people dead. The disaster struck Tursan village, devastating the local community.
Rescue operations are ongoing, but challenging terrain is hindering efforts. Displaced residents are fleeing famine and conflict in the region. The Sudan Liberation Movement reported the tragedy, calling for urgent aid. Joseph Eckerson reporting.
French authorities reported a stabbing rampage in Marseille, injuring at least 5 people. The attack occurred in the southern port city on Tuesday.
Police have detained a suspect, but the motive remains unclear. The incident has heightened security concerns in the area. Local hospitals are treating the injured, with no fatalities reported. Benjamin Wright reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
Federal judge rejected the Justice Department's attempt to force Google to sell its Chrome browser. The ruling stems from an antitrust case against the tech giant.
The judge deemed the request excessive, but barred Google from exclusive deals, setting its search engine as the default. The decision is expected to face further appeals. Google's practices remain under scrutiny. Lawrence Keller reporting.
3 South Carolina residents were arrested for smuggling drugs into prisons. The operation involved a widespread network distributing illegal substances.
Authorities uncovered the scheme after a months-long investigation. The suspects face multiple charges related to drug trafficking. Prison officials are reviewing security protocols to prevent future incidents. Kyle Norris reporting.
A House committee released over 33,000 pages of Justice Department documents related to Jeffrey Epstein's federal investigation. The documents detail the late sex offender's activities.
The release follows public pressure for transparency in the case. Victims shared emotional accounts of abuse at a news conference. The documents are expected to fuel ongoing legal discussions. headlines. Kevin Sanders reporting.
The Pentagon authorized up to 600 military lawyers to serve as temporary immigration judges. The move aims to address immigration case backlogs.
The decision has drawn criticism from some lawmakers over military involvement. The temporary judges will process cases involving Venezuelan migrants. The policy is part of broader immigration enforcement efforts. Liam White reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
If you ever wished that Facebook had a suck it button, you suck. This rock block is for you.
Okay, I guess we got a rock block coming up. Well, that won't be at least until the top of the hour, so don't worry about that. Currently 55 minutes past, because that's what's happening. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. If I take a look back at 2017, Hurricane Irma becomes the most powerful hurricane ever recorded in the Atlantic Basin region with 185 mile per hour winds. It hit Florida as a Category 3 where it caused about $50 billion worth of damages. There was little time to recover as Hurricane Maria would follow 2 weeks later. So that happened back in 2017. If you're looking at some birthdays for today, Kat Graham turns 36. Let's see. Rose McGowan, 52. Michael Potts, 55. Brad Welk turns 57. Michael Keaton turns 74. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, there's quite a few. National Lazy Moms Day. International Days of Charity. National 401k Day, National Cheese Pizza Day, National Food Bank Day, National Be Late for Something Day, and Bring Your Manners to Work Day. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on as we are talking. So, a lot of things. Anyways, with that, let's talk about some rando-ando, because I'm sure you want one of those. Let me give you a random joke for today, and it should sound something like this. I'm sure whenever my parents are, wherever my parents are, they're looking down on me. They're not dead, just very condescending, just saying. Okay, if you need a phone starter for today, what's this? What's your favorite sandwich or sandwich ingredients? If you need a question for the water cooler, try this. 38% of us secretly have done this to our partner. What is it? Gotten rid of their old stuff. You mean like their exes? Okay, no, I'm just joking. Okay. I don't know. Interesting stuff. Well, that's going to sum up our time. At the top of the hour, I will be going over to radiobig.fm for the next couple hours or so. If you want to come and hang out with me, we can do that. Talk about the world of music and the world of entertainment. We'll do that for the next few hours. I'll pick some music for us to take a listen to if you want to come over there. If you don't, that's fine. You can stay here with the likes of Sheldon Primus because that's going to be important. He'll talk about the world of safety consulting for you. So there you go. Anyways, if I can't leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this. To get joy, we must give it. And to keep joy, we must scatter it. So there you go. Oh, I love me some joy. Seriously. Okay, with that being said, that's going to sum it up. Thanks for your time. Thank you for being the best part of what we do around here. So there you go. Why don't we do this? I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you. Mean it. Goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.
I'ma get you in the mood, get you in the vibe, get you in the groove. I feel so a lie, don't mean to be rude. But if you don't, you should really get in tune. No bad attitude. Smile, baby, that's your best attribute. Cheese. Let me show some gratitude. I feel too good to ever be mad at you.